Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings for Thursday, January the 26th. We got a 6-game Thursday slate, and as always guys, we're going to go game by game. We're going to give a quick game-by-game breakdown of this 6-game slate, what I do like, taking a first look on Wednesday night. As always though, before we do get started with the breakdown, if you guys do enjoy these DFS videos and if they do help you out, please hit that like button down below. I do always appreciate the likes. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel and you never checked out PrizePicks before, PrizePicks is the sponsor of this video. You guys can sign up for PrizePicks and use my promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up for PrizePicks with my promo code. And for those of you that have never heard about PrizePicks, you don't know what they are. They're a player prop site, so a little bit different than DraftKings and FanDuel and every other DFS site. You're not building out a lineup. You're not competing against other players. This is just you versus their projections. So as you can see, they do already have some projections posted for Thursday's games. You can see some of the points props they have available. They also have rebounds, assists. They pretty much have every stat category that like any other sports book would offer. Plus, they also have fantasy score projections. So basically, you can take a look at their fantasy point projections. You can compare those to maybe your projections, make some decisions that way. But again, if you guys are not playing on PrizePicks yet, make sure to use that promo code NOAH. When you do sign up, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's go ahead and talk through Thursday's 6-game slate, and we'll start off. Didn't mean to do that. We'll start off with the first game of the night, the Knicks and the Celtics. So we'll start off on the Knicks side. I've been saying it lately with this Knicks team. We kind of know who's going to get the minutes here, where the usage is going to go. Right now, Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, those are the guys that are really dominating usage, playing all the heavy minutes. Obviously, this is not the best matchup against Boston. Boston's not a team we really look to target. But again, I've said this before, like Randle and Brunson and Barrett, they're just playing so many minutes that like they all have a path to upside. Even in a tough matchup against Cleveland last game, I mean, Julius Randle still put up 61 DK points. He played 38 minutes. His price tag is $9,900, which doesn't seem like too expensive. Again, don't love the matchup, but I still think Randle is viable. I think the same could be said for Brunson as well. Don't love the matchup for him, but he's going to play 36, 38 minutes. His usage has been really good this season. He's been really productive on a point per minute basis with this Knicks team. So I think I think Randle and Brunson are playable. Barrett at 7K is fine too, but I would definitely rather go to Brunson between the two if I could get up to Brunson. Barrett's probably like my third favorite of those, big three. And then the rest of the Knicks, I mean, there's really not much else I like on this team. Emmanuel Quickly is going to come off the bench, play probably 25, 30 minutes. At 4,900, he's a playable value on a short slate like this, but I don't love him. Quentin Grimes, none of these guys really are going to be viable, I don't think. Jericho Sims has been starting lately, but he really hasn't been DFS target. He's not the best per minute producer either. Tough matchup as well. Probably going to pass on him. So that's pretty much it for the Knicks. And then on the other side with the Celtics, so no Marcus Smart once again for the Celtics. Without Marcus Smart, we can expect probably more minutes for Malcolm Brogdon and Derek White. Malcolm Brogdon has been out the last 2 games, but he is expected to return for this one. Without Marcus Smart, we should definitely see more minutes for Malcolm Brogdon. 6K does feel like an appropriate price tag for him, but I think Brogdon is playable today. I think Derek White is playable, but I'm not as interested in Derek White, now that Jaylen Brown is back. Obviously, White had a huge game last game, 34 minutes, 42 DK points. I think a lot of that had to do with them being without Brogdon, without Smart, without Jaylen Brown. Now that Jaylen Brown's coming back, now that Brogdon's coming back, I don't think White's like a slam dunk, but I still think he is a playable option. The bigs from Boston, Williams and Horford, where they're priced at, neither one I love. Williams has been starting, been playing decent minutes. He did get up to 31 minutes last game. I think with Horford back for today, Williams will probably play like 26, 28 minutes. Again, he's playable. This matchup against the Knicks is usually not one I love to target, but without Mitchell Robinson right now, this is actually like kind of a good matchup. We've seen the Knicks give up some big games to centers lately. So Williams is okay. And then like Tatum and Brown, where they're priced at 11.2 for Tatum, 9.4 for Brown. I don't love either one. Tatum feels priced about right. He's had some big games lately. Obviously, last game was pretty good without Jaylen Brown, but this 11.2 price tag I feel like is an appropriate price tag for Tatum. Same could be said for Brown. So that's pretty much it for this game, I think. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game, the Bulls and the Hornets. So the Hornets today, we're going to need to keep an eye on the status of LaMelo Ball. Listed as questionable. I think LaMelo has been out the last 2 games. And then Gordon Hayward is also listed as questionable. He was out last game. So if LaMelo and Hayward return, I mean, there's not much that I really like on Charlotte. A lot of these guys got priced up a little bit for when LaMelo was out, like Rozier. PJ Washington got priced up a little bit. Like, I don't really have a ton of interest in those guys if LaMelo's back. If LaMelo does play, you can maybe go to him at 9,800, but again, it would be his first game back from injury, so like, don't love targeting a guy in his first game back from injury, especially when he's not really discounted. I mean, you're kind of paying the full price tag for LaMelo. I think the one guy that I definitely have interest in from Charlotte, if Gordon Hayward remains out, I do like Jalen McDaniels quite a bit. We've seen Jalen McDaniels play pretty big minutes lately. Without Hayward, he's been playing. In the minutes or in the games that Hayward has missed this season, McDaniels has played a good amount. I think even if Hayward returns and LaMelo remains out, I think we did see them start McDaniels. Last game when LaMelo was out, or the game when Hayward played. I think it was the game against Utah. Hayward played that game, LaMelo was out, and McDaniels did still start that game. So like if McDaniels is still starting at 5,200, I think he is a playable option. But for right now, expecting LaMelo back and Hayward back, I really don't like much on the Charlotte team. Obviously, if LaMelo is out, then Rozier looks pretty good at 8,100. PJ Washington is playable. McDaniels would look even better. And then Dennis Smith Jr., I would have some interest in for value if LaMelo remains out. Even though Dennis Smith Jr. has been coming off the bench, he's still been playing about 30 minutes. He's normally a productive player when he does get minutes. His price tag's not that high either, so he would obviously be in play if LaMelo sits. Now on the other side with Chicago, this Bulls team, they're a tough team to gauge when they're fully healthy, but it is a really good spot here against the Hornets. The Hornets play fast. They don't play much defense. Looking at DeRozan, Vooch, and LaVine, I think of those three, my favorite is probably Vooch, just because Charlotte has been such a good matchup for centers this season. I know Vooch didn't do that well last time these teams played, but this Hornets team's been giving up so many fantasy points to centers. They're a bad rebounding team. They give up a lot of points in the paint. I mean, it's a perfect matchup for Vooch. And Vooch has been playing really well lately, been playing massive minutes. The 9K price tag, like, you're paying the full price for Vooch. It's not like you're getting much of a discount on him right now. But this matchup is so good that, like, I would not be surprised to see Vooch still outperform this 9K salary. So I think if looking at the Chicago guys, I think I would rank them Vooch number one, then DeRozan, then LaVine. They're all priced correctly, though. None of them are going to be like standout core plays today. And then the rest of the Bulls, I'm probably going to pass on. I know Patrick Williams has been playing decent minutes lately, been having some good games. 4,700, he feels priced about right. Same could be said for like Caruso and Kobe White and Io. So that'll do it for that game. Let's move on to the next one. Talk about Detroit and Brooklyn. So Brooklyn, they are on a back-to-back today. Definitely going to have to monitor their injury report. I know last time they were on a back-to-back, I think they played everybody. But we'll have to keep an eye on for stuff here. Obviously, against Detroit, this is a spot you would think Brooklyn could probably win, even without like Kyrie and stuff like that. So for now, though, expecting all the main guys to play. It's a really, really good spot for Kyrie Irving if he's playing today. I mean, Detroit this season has been a great matchup. They're a terrible defensive team, one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and they give up a ton of fancy points to point guards as well. This has been a really good matchup for point guards. So really like Kyrie here if he's playing. He's been on a roll lately, been playing really well the last few games without Kevin Durant. And obviously we can expect Kyrie to have a really big role while KD remains out. It's a pretty good spot for Nicholas Claxton as well, but 7,600, I think you're kind of paying the full price for Claxton right now. So I don't love him, but I think he is playable. The rest of Brooklyn, I don't really have a ton of interest in. Ben Simmons, Royce O'Neal, Seth Curry. I know Seth Curry had a big game Wednesday night, but really don't want to chase that. I think he's priced correctly at 5K, so that's pretty much it for Brooklyn. And then on the other side with Detroit, I mean, I don't like a ton from Detroit. They're usually not a team I get too excited to roster, but there is one guy that we will talk about that I do have some interest in. Bojan, Jaden Ivey, Killian Hayes. I think all those guys are priced correctly. Sadiq Bey, I think he's priced correctly as well. Don't see a ton that stands out from this Detroit team, but the one guy that I do have interest in, last game without Isaiah Stewart, we did see Jalen Duren play a ton. He played 31 minutes, even in a blowout, and had 52 DraftKings points. Now, can we expect Jalen Duren to put up 50 DraftKings points every night? Obviously not. That was definitely an outlier performance, but he's going to play a ton if there's no Isaiah Stewart because they don't have Marvin Bagley either. They really don't want to play Nerlens Noel. I don't even think Noel's been in the rotation lately, so Duren would play 30-plus minutes if Stewart remains out. I think Duren would play even in a blowout too. I think his minutes would be really secure. So if Isaiah Stewart does remain out, I do like Jalen Duren quite a bit at 5,100, and he would definitely be my favorite play from this Pistons team. But that'll do it for this game. I think that's pretty much everything that I like there. So let's move on to the next game, Cleveland and Houston. So we'll start off on Houston. They're another team on a back-to-back today. We'll have to monitor their injury report. Sengun, not in the best spot here against Cleveland, but man, Sengun has just been absolutely crushing lately. He had another massive game Wednesday night against who did they play? It's blanking me. The Wizards. They played the Wizards Wednesday night. Sengun had a huge game. I think he had a triple-double as well. He's been playing massive minutes lately. They've been running the offense more through Şengün without Kevin Porter Jr. I think Şengün, even at 8,700 in a tough matchup, is still in play today. I think his ownership will be pretty low because nobody really wants to pay this price tag for Şengün. He doesn't really ever project well at this salary, and I think in this matchup he's not going to project that well. But the upside's there just with how much he's involved in the offense, with how he can stuff the stat sheet. So still do have interest in Şengün. Don't love the spot for Jalen Green, but obviously without Kevin Porter Jr. right now, he offers plenty of upside. The usage is going to be there, but I would definitely rather play Şengün between those two guys. And then the rest of Houston, Jabari Smith, KJ Martin, Eric Gordon. None of those guys look super appealing. I don't see too much else I like on the Rockets today besides Şengün and Jalen Green. And then on the other side with Cleveland, so Donovan Mitchell is listed as questionable for today, but I did see a report from Underdog that I think he might have a chance to miss a few games. It seems like this groin injury that he has right now is kind of serious. I think he was out with the groin injury, then he returned, and it seems like he re-injured his groin. So I don't think Donovan Mitchell is going to play today. He did not practice on Wednesday. So if Donovan Mitchell is out, and assuming he is out, that's going to make Darius Garland and Karis LeVert really, really good options. Obviously, good matchup here against Houston. Darius Garland, I know he's kind of priced up to 8,600, but he would have to take on a really big role without Donovan Mitchell. He's going to play massive minutes, and this matchup is great. I mean, point guards have been crushing the Rockets all season. It's been a great matchup for point guards, so really like the spot for Darius Garland. And if assuming Mitchell is out, I think Garland looks like a great option today. I think Karis LeVert looks like a great option as well. I would assume that Karis LeVert would start in place of Mitchell, would play pretty big minutes, and we've seen LeVert be pretty good in the games without Mitchell this season. Whenever one of Mitchell or Garland are out, Mitchell or Garland, usually LeVert thrives in those type of scenarios. And if Mitchell is out today, I think LeVert gets a big boost, would be a really good option at 5,600. And then the bigs from Cleveland, you got Mobley at 7,200 and Jared Allen at 6,500. I think these two guys feel priced about right. If I had to pick one, though, I probably would rather go to Allen, just given the discount, 6,500. Jared Allen, he's kind of been a roller coaster this season, but he did have a big game last game against the Knicks. He did play 39 minutes, which was good to see. Houston this season has done a decent job limiting center production, but I still think Allen is in a decent spot. And at 6,500, I think he is a playable option here. But I like the guards from Cleveland, Garland and LeVert, assuming that Mitchell is out. Now, if Mitchell plays, you can maybe go to Mitchell, but I'd be a little bit worried about this groin injury that he's got right now. Judging by the reports, it seems like Mitchell's going to be out for a few games, so I'm not expecting him to play here. So that'll do it for Cleveland. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game, Dallas and Phoenix, the two late-night games. So first off, on the Dallas side, with this Dallas team, we kind of know where the usage is going to go, where the offensive production is going to go. Luka's going to have a massive role every single night. Matchup here against Phoenix is not the greatest. He'll probably see a lot of Mikal Bridges, who's a good defender, but Luka is matchup proof. He's going to have a massive role, going to play massive minutes. This is a rematch of the playoffs last year. These two teams played. Obviously, that Game 7, Dallas just absolutely beat the brakes off of Phoenix. So I think Luka at 12-7 is firmly in play here. Even in a tough matchup, it's just going to come down to what kind of value we have. If there's going to be value available to pay up for Luka. Right now, not a priority for me, but we'll have to see what kind of value opens up. Christian Wood is listed as questionable, I think, or it looks like he's going to be reevaluated. So it was reported that he would be reevaluated in the second quarter of Wednesday's game, or he sustained a fractured left thumb second quarter of Wednesday's game against Atlanta. I guess they said he was going to be reevaluated in a week, so it's been a week. I don't think Wood's going to play today, and if he remains out, I don't know if that impacts too much besides just a bigger role for Luka, bigger role for Dinwiddie and Tim Hardaway Jr. I'll be honest, I don't like a ton from Dallas besides Luka. Dinwiddie feels priced about right for the spot against Phoenix. I don't have a ton of interest in him. Tim Hardaway Jr. feels priced about right as well. Don't have a ton of interest in him. The bigs from Dallas, I'm probably going to pass on, even if Wood remains out. I know Dwight Powell had a decent game last game, but we've seen Dwight Powell just not be that productive on a permanent basis this season. He's playable, but don't love him for value. And then talking about the Phoenix side, so for Phoenix, obviously no Devin Booker still. DeAndre Ayton is listed as questionable or probable for this game. So DeAndre Ayton is expected to be back for this game. With Devin Booker still out, we can expect Chris Paul to have a really big role. I think 7,700 is still too cheap for Chris Paul here with Devin Booker out. Now, last game, Paul was pretty productive. He had almost 40 Draftkings points, and he saw limited minutes because, Phoenix beat the crap out of Charlotte. Paul only played 27 minutes. This is a game that should be competitive, so we should see 35, 36 minutes from Chris Paul. Again, his permanent production is going to be better with Devin Booker off the floor. So I really like Chris Paul at 7,700. Ayton at 7,500 feels priced about right, but I think he's playable. Mikal Bridges feels a little overpriced right now. Don't like him that much at 7,300. Cam Johnson was absolutely on fire last game, could not miss. He shot 9 for 11 and 6 for 7 from 3. He put up 35 DraftKings points in 18 minutes for Cam Johnson last game. I mean, is that something we can expect to happen every game? Obviously not. But Cam Johnson did start last game, and if he continues to start, I'm assuming he will, he's probably going to get decent minutes. I think if this game is competitive, we can expect probably low 30s minutes from Cam Johnson. So I don't mind him at 5,300. I think he is a playable option. But that's pretty much it for Phoenix. I really don't like anything else here. So let's move on to the last game of the night, San Antonio and the Clippers. So for the Clippers today, you got Kawhi and PG coming in at 10K for Kawhi, 8,500 for PG. Where these guys are priced at, I don't have a ton of interest in either one. I think, if we're looking at pay-up options today, I would rather get up to Luka if I could. I think I would prefer Kyrie in a probably slightly better spot over Kawhi, but Kawhi's in a pretty good spot too. I mean, the San Antonio defense has been horrible this season. Kawhi, just when he's playing with Paul George, is never really a guy that I prioritize paying up for, but Kawhi has kind of taken over as like the number one guy in this offense. Paul George has definitely been like the number 2 option lately. We've seen Kawhi play massive minutes. His permanent production has been really good. He's playable at 10K, but I don't love him. Paul George is playable at 8,500, but these guys, again, feel priced about right. I don't love either one. I think it's likely that somebody from the Clippers does well today because the matchup is so good. With the pricing, I just don't see too much I love in particular. Norman Powell, not much interest in. Zubac minutes are always all over the place. Last game played 34 minutes. Last time these teams played, he played 36 minutes. It is a pretty good matchup. We have seen San Antonio give up big games to centers this season. They've just, they've been giving up big games to everyone. So if we're going to get like 35, 36 minutes from Zubac, I would like him a ton. I just don't know if that's going to happen. His minutes, again, have just been all over the place. And then, Marcus Morris is questionable. I don't know if this impacts too much, but if Marcus Morris does get ruled out, you would probably see Nicholas Batum start 3,800, depending on what kind of value we have today. If there's no value available, I think Batum would be a playable value, but he's never a guy that I really ever get excited to roster. Terrence Mann has been starting lately. His minutes have been all over the place. Last game he played 26. The previous games he played 18 and 21. His price tag coming down, but I'm not super interested in Terrence Mann here, even in a good matchup. It's really just like Kawhi and PG, you could sprinkle in. Zubac, I don't mind. And then, maybe Batum if Morris is out. But I hope there's better value available than, Nicholas Batum. We'll have to see what kind of value opens up today. Now, on the San Antonio side, the Spurs are on a back-to-back today, so going to have to monitor their injury report. You got Keldon Johnson coming in at 7,400. Not the best spot here for Keldon Johnson going up against Kawhi and PG, strong defenders. The Clippers in general are a strong defensive team. This game does have some blowout risk as well, which I probably should have mentioned. I don't see myself really rostering a ton of Spurs today. Keldon feels priced about right. Same with Trey Jones. Don't mind the spot for Jakob Poeltl. I know the Clippers have given up some big games to centers this season. Zubac's not the best defender. Poeltl, when he gets the minutes, he can produce. It's just that a lot of times he either is limited by foul trouble or the Spurs just get blown out and he's limited by that as well. But if the Spurs can keep this game competitive and Poeltl's not in foul trouble, he probably plays 26, 28 minutes and would be a viable option at 6K. But again, I just really don't like many Spurs. I really don't want to roster a ton of Spurs on the second night of a back-to-back. They could maybe rest some guys, and if they do that, obviously there would be some value that would open up. But for now, we don't really have that news the night before, so we'll just kind of have to wait and see there with San Antonio. But that'll do it for this 6-game Thursday night slate. As always, I hope you guys did enjoy this breakdown. Thank you as always for watching these videos. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, again, go check out PrizePicks. They are the sponsor of this video. You guys can sign up for PrizePicks and use my promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up for PrizePicks with my promo code. Definitely check them out if you have not yet. But good luck on the slate, guys. Thanks as always for watching the video. Hope you guys did enjoy, and we will see you in the next one. Best of luck tonight, guys. Peace.